What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLorean here. Welcome to a brand new video. Today what I want to do is break down the trailer we got for the Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 Episode 12, which looks trippy as hell and absolutely insane, so let's hop right into it.
Let's start with your name.
So the trailer opens with Morgan stealthily moving through a house while walkers are outside kind of surrounding the area, and he's moving very stealthily as if he's trying to avoid the windows, which clearly means he's being searched for, like, he's trying to avoid maybe the walkers, until we see that he is shot at, by someone. We don't know who this is at first. And Morgan is most likely out because I think in the end of episode 11, they were kind of devising a plan to kind of, conquer or slowly conquer this new kind of cult group run by the, cult head Teddy, who, in my opinion, was fucking creepy as hell. But I think he mentioned something about going out and trying to, maybe find them, get Alicia back and everything, or find supplies to be able to, defeat them, or maybe even scout them out, kind of. Next, we get a shot of Grace on the floor, or on kind of the ground and everything, with tons of smoke around her, and it kind of sounds like we heard kind of gunshots all around her, like some AK shots or something, which at first in this trailer makes you kind of think, oh, what's going on with, like, Grace and anything? Why is there smoke around her and everything? Why do I hear gunshots? So this could either mean two things. Either A, she got into a car accident, wink wink. B, the damn community was kind of maybe even attacked or something by these weird cult people. Or C, she's possibly having a vision or something, or some kind of dream sequence, or maybe is knocked out or something. Next we see a few shots of a walker kind of rising up and everything from the dead, or rising back up. And we see it kind of walking through this really weird hallway that kind of almost this kind of feels like a dream sequence to me when I was watching it back a couple times. But I kind of feel like this is down in that weird bunker with the weird cult people and everything, and there's just walkers down there, just I don't know why. Maybe it was one of the ones that was cut loose, or maybe got loose and everything when Alicia lit that entire room on fire, which was really badass, by the way. So I wonder if this is a walker that maybe got let loose inside the underground bunker community with the cult people, or maybe this is someone that Alicia killed, Teddy killed, or just just someone. But that's all I can think of at the moment, that this is down in the bunker community with the cult. But we do get to see someone stab this walker, and this kind of does look like maybe Alicia's sleeve or maybe Teddy's sleeve, either two of those characters. Now Alicia kind of seems like she's a bit kind of held captive at the moment and everything, so I don't know why she would have a knife or anything, or even be allowed to even roam the place, unless maybe she caused this walker outbreak in this bunker or anything as a way to escape. Or it could be Teddy and everything, just killing a walker, since he did he doesn't seem against killing walkers, which I thought he would be, since they kind of use them a lot and everything. We did get to see that they use them in episode 11, but we did get to see him stab some guy in the head and everything before he can even turn into a walker at the end of near the end of episode 11, when Alicia badass killed somebody. So this could either be Teddy or Alicia, in my opinion. If it's Alicia, maybe she caused some walker outbreak down the bunker. Next we just get to see some walkers kind of just walking in a field and everything. There isn't really much to break down with this shot. Now we get another shot of Grace kind of just lying on kind of the forest floor, just on a bunch of leaves, I think clearly knocked out, or possibly from something that happened that knocked her out. And we get to see her fully conscious now and everything, approaching a car that says the end, which is clearly from the weird bunker cult people, where they write the end is the beginning. So this is clearly one of them. But something that I kind of noticed that's very, very weird about this is that the trees are completely pinked out and everything, are purple down in the background. So I do feel maybe Grace will possibly get knocked out or something from maybe a car accident, an explosion, an attack on maybe the damn community. Because obviously the last we did see of Grace and everything is it was inside Morgan's whole damn community. So maybe they tried transporting her somewhere, maybe they were on the move, or maybe they had to leave because of some sort of issue inside the damn community. And maybe she got knocked out or something by a car accident or something, that someone that attacked them on the road. Because I'm kind of wondering why the trees are purple or pinkish and everything, and I wonder why she would be having a vision with one of the beginning is the end type slogans on a car. Or I could be a complete fucking idiot, and maybe that trees do look this color in some areas, or maybe during some seasons, I don't know. But my opinion is that this is a vision that she was knocked out from when maybe a car accident or something, and she's just seeing this as a vision. But yet again, I'm not sure why she would have the end is the beginning slogan in her head and everything, thing unless she's seen it before. But at the same time, she kind of doesn't even know what it means. But I do believe this is a vision or a dream sequence or something. Next, we go back to with Morgan and everything inside that house and everything, just after he was shot by, like, you know, Riley, one of the, like, you know, very weird cult people, like someone that was really prominent in episode 11, and one other of his, like, you know, henchmen or anything, stabbing a walker and quickly approaching Morgan's kind of, like, you know, outhouse where he's hiding out from them. So these people are clearly hunting Morgan and everything, and, like, you know, really want him, since in episode 11 they did mention a lot of Morgan and everything, saying that, like, you know, when Derek, Wes's brother, said, like, oh, you're with Morgan, and, like, you know, all of them saying we want Morgan Jones, like, they clearly have some gripe with him or think of him as a possible threat, or, like, you know, kind of Derek with his paintings on places where they're gonna hit, like, you know, next. I feel like, you know, Morgan is kind of, like, you know, the person that they know the most besides, like, you know, Virginia, is now, like, another big group they have to take out. So obviously if they take out their leader, the whole thing crumbles. And also the people that Morgan did take out earlier in season 6, those people that were also the part of, like, you know, the beginning is the end, like, you know, weird group, even though they didn't seem as, like, you know, psycho as some of these other people do down the bunker, they wanted Morgan for one reason only, is he had a key on, like, you know, kind of, like, you know, on a necklace. So I do wonder if that's the same reason that they want Morgan and everything, is for, like, you know, that key that he had around his necklace and everything to unlock possibly that ship that Morgan, that they were in, like, you know, near an episode, an earlier episode in season 6, or if they want him because he's, like, you know, a big leader inside, like, you know, a huge community that's possibly, like, be a threat to their group. Next we see just pretty much a pile of bones and everything at night, or I'm assuming at night, unless it's, like, you know, a dark building with maybe a flashlight like shining on it. But I do believe this is at night, and I do wonder what this, like, you know, means. There's not much to break down inside it besides, like, you know, just a big pile of bones. Next we go back to Grace, and she's kind of looking inside this building with, like, you know, Walker inside of it, and there's, like, a few red lights shining, like, you know, behind her. And I'm kind of having a situation where I'm trying to figure out if this is current Grace or past Grace, because I feel it would make sense since Grace hasn't gotten a lot of screen time this season so far, or, like, you know, like a whole episode, because in each episode in this, like, you know, season so far, they've kind of had a person that they follow mainly inside the episode. So I do wonder if this is gonna be a Grace focused episode, because this does kind of look like, you know, past Grace, you know, in season 5, when, like, you know, maybe this is, like, you know, this kind of looks like her when she was, like, you know, on the carousel with Morgan, or maybe, like, you know, still on that nuclear power plant type, like, you know, area in season 5. So I do wonder if we're maybe gonna explore more of Grace and everything. She's gonna get, like, you know, hit, knocked down, go through all these, like, visions and everything, and maybe go through her past and everything, and it'll be a Grace focused episode, which kind of makes, like, you know, some sense. Like, you know, Morgan will be getting hunted down, and Grace will be, like, you know, going through some visions in her past. Next we see another, like, you know, Walker rising, but it looks like more day out and everything. So I do wonder if this is, like, you know, I don't know. Next we see Morgan running around this, like, kind of warehouse and everything, and he looks behind him. So I do wonder if this is, like, the exact same place where he got shot at in the beginning, or maybe this is him, like, you know, running after he was just, like, shot and everything, because the character Riley from, like, you know, the weird cult group and everything, kind of one of, like, you know, Teddy's henchmen or sidemen, kind of like, you know, Simon or, like, you know, Dwight was to, like, you know, Negan, says, Morgan Jones, you're a hard man to find. So I do wonder if this is, like, you know, Morgan looking behind him and everything in this, like, gigantic warehouse where he's trying to hide away from them, and he's looking behind them, like, you know, after Teddy says this and everything, like, oh my god, how they know my name and everything, or oh shit, they're shooting at me, or just, like, making sure that they're not catching up to him. So I do feel this is the exact same warehouse that, like, you know, he's hiding in and everything after, like, you know, while they're shooting at him and he's trying to hide. We get another shot of Teddy and everything, or not Teddy, another shot of Riley and everything as he's walking up to, like, you know, the bullet hole that he shot outside the window. And this is where he says, Morgan Jones, you're a hard man to find. We do see a car, which is what I'm assuming that they, like, you know, what they use to, like, you know, reach, like, Morgan, or maybe this is even Morgan's car, which I'll, like, you know, talk more about, like, you know, later in the trailer. But Teddy's in kind of this, like, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers type, like, you know, outfit, which looks really funny, actually. Next thing we see a fight scene between Morgan and what looks to be the same guy that was one of, like, you know, kind of Riley's kind of tag-alongs to go find Morgan, or maybe it might be a different guy, but Morgan's facing off this guy and he ends up stabbing him, I think, right in the chest or the throat and everything, which is cool that we'll get some more Morgan kills in this episode. But I feel Morgan's gonna slowly pick off all the people and everything that are coming after him in this episode, like he usually does. And this kind of looks to be like in a farm, or maybe like a place where they keep animals before they kill them, like, you know, to make food. Or maybe this is still in the warehouse where, like, you know, he was running away from, like, you know, the Riley and his kind of henchmen, which makes sense that they'll, like, all this, like, this whole sequence will take place in this one, like, you know, building or warehouse, and they'll come after Morgan inside the place, and Morgan will hide and then, like, you know, kill them all. Although I kind of don't want him to kill Riley yet and everything, since he seems like a bit more of an interesting character and everything. Like, I actually want to see more of him, but at the same time, I don't feel like I would care, and I feel like that'd make his death pretty satisfying and just weird, or we'd get lots of information out of it. Like, we'd find out more about this cult group and everything, and what they're truly after and what their big plan is. And this is a pretty badass kill and everything, like, that Morgan gets out of this guy. Next, we go back to Grace and everything, and she's lying on her back and everything while pushing up a walker. Yet again, the pink tree is all around her. Yet again, not sure if this is a vision or a dream sequence or whatever, but I still do think it is. But she's kind of pushing this walker off her, and she's kind of in the exact same position as she was when she was, like, kind of looked knocked out. So I do wonder if she'll maybe be, like, knocked out and everything, and she'll, like, be awoken by this, like, walker that's, like, now trying to attack and kill her. And I do know that this is 100% current, like, day Grace and everything, since she has on kind of her outfit that she has had on for the past, like, 3 episodes. And you can kind of tell she has, like, the belly and everything. She's obviously pregnant with, like, I was about to say Morgan's baby, but I don't think it's Morgan's baby. But this is a pretty scary sequence, I think, since this walker is, like, Ryan, Grace doesn't look like anyone's, like, around to help her. But we did also see an earlier shot where Grace was up walking towards a car to, like, inspect kind of the end on, like, the car and everything. The phrase, the end, is the beginning phrase in the car. So I do wonder if maybe she'll kill the walker and everything and get up and go see the car, or maybe she'll, like, pass out after she sees the car, or maybe someone saves her, which, I don't know, it looks like she's walking by herself to the car when she's, like, alone and, walking towards the car. So I don't know, we'll have to see in the episode and everything, but it's definitely a scary sequence. Next, we get to see what kind of looks like past Morgan. I don't know why I was saying about him kind of looks like, past Morgan, not current state Morgan, at least in my opinion. And yet again, there's a huge clue that points to this, like, whole thing with Grace being a possible dream sequence, because, like, we get a view of Morgan, like, kind of inside this car and everything, but he's leaving the car, but it looks like it's from a point of view of someone that's inside the car that he's talking to, because he says to the person, eyes and ears, like, watch out around us, as he's leaving the car to maybe go, like, inspect something. But Morgan's voice inside the kind of, like, sequence of, like, the trailer, it kind of sounds like a dream sequence, like, it kind of echoes and, like, there's a chorus effect behind it, and it sounds like dreamy kind of. So maybe this is Grace and Morgan going out kind of, like, to, like, I don't even know why Morgan would bring her out and risk her or anything, like, which is why I think this is a dream sequence, but I'm not sure 100% what's happening in here yet again besides it being a dream sequence. But this also does kind of look like the same feel that we did see the walkers, like, going on, like, earlier in the trailer. So maybe he's, like, going on to kill the walkers, or maybe they'll see the walkers later on. Then we get one last shot of Riley through the bullet hole that he shot through the window at Morgan. He says, "You have something that we want," which yet again, I'm assuming is the key to maybe that huge boat that we saw in, I think, episode 2 or 1 or 2 and everything of season 6. Or maybe it was episode 3, I'm not sure, but I think it was episode 1. Yeah, I think it was episode 1. So I wonder if that's that, like, key that they want to the boat, or to something even bigger. Maybe because in episode 11, they did mention that, like, eventually they're going to close off their doors to where they were never going to go outside of that bunker ever again. So maybe they want the key to get something that will help them survive down the bunker, so they'll never have to leave ever again. And maybe Morgan has the key and everything, or he probably still has the key. And I did kind of think this really weird theory that maybe they think Grace is, like, something important. I don't know why this is a weird theory that came in my head, is that they want Grace because they think she's really important or something. Like, I don't know, they're a really weird cult. I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, thought, like, Grace was, like, the holding the Antichrist or something. I don't know, that was just really weird. But we get some last shots of Grace and everything, which is pretty much, like, looking really stunned, and this is clearly after she gets up, possibly after the walker, and she looks really scared, or, like, and just stunned and just, like, horrified, and she essentially screams Morgan and everything. Like, she screams at the top of her lungs, like, it sounds like she's screaming in grief, or maybe, like, even if Morgan's getting killed, it sounds like literally sounds like there's so much pain in her voice, like she, like, she's watching Morgan be, like, killed or something, or executed. But in the last shot, we do get to see a car, or what looks to be possibly a car going up in flames. And what's very interesting about this shot, in, like, Grace's, like, last shot, is we did get to see, like, all the pink trees and all the purple trees around, like, Grace and everything when she's screaming Morgan. But in this shot right here, we get to see trees in the background, and these trees are not at all, like, kind of like, bright pink or purple. So I do wonder if this is in a kind of different scene, like, the scene where she's screaming Morgan and this car blowing up possibly, I think, is in a different scene. Or maybe she thinks Morgan died in, like, this huge explosion or, like, car fire. Because I did mention earlier in the video that, like, maybe Grace is passed out from a car accident because there was gunfire and everything, and, like, there's smoke all around her, and she was out in a field, which, like, obviously isn't near the dam community. So I do wonder if there'll be in a car accident, maybe Grace will be passed down, maybe think Morgan died in, like, this huge car accident, or maybe she wakes up after driving with Morgan and, like, she maybe thinks he died in that area, or maybe in the car. But that was the trailer to episode 12 of season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. This trailer is absolutely mind-boggling. Like, there's a lot of trippy scenes that looks at like, this episode is gonna possibly have, especially with like Grace kind of being like what looks to be passed out, having all these like pink and purple trees all around her and everything, especially screaming Morgan, and possibly maybe it being a Grace-centered episode or anything. Maybe you'd see more of like, Grace's past, some like, dream sequences, flashbacks, visions, and Morgan being hunted by Riley, and then like, the crazy cult and everything, or like, as Alicia said, the like, Teddy's kind of the king of the crazies, which I thought was funny. But yeah, seeing Morgan being hunted by like, Riley and his like, people and everything, and like, killing some of them and everything. Will Riley die in this episode? Just seeing all that will be very interesting and everything, and seeing what like, Morgan has. Is it the key that they want and everything, so they never have to leave like, that downward bunker ever again? Like, this is what they're looking for, that Morgan has the key, or is it something else? Like I said, it might be Grace, but I highly doubt that and everything. But yet again, I wouldn't put anything past this like crazy group. But yeah, that was my breakdown for the episode 12 of season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead trailer and everything. Make sure to comment down below if I did miss something in this trailer, or there's something that you guys did see that I didn't, or maybe something that like, you have further to like, add on to what I said and everything, or if you agree with what I said or disagree with what I said. Like, did I say something maybe you disagree with and think it's something else, or just leave your opinions on what you think it like is happening in this trailer. What you guys do think will happen in episode 12 of season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. And like usual, this trailer will be linked down below in the description. But yep, that was all for today. Anything, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more latest in the Walking Dead universe and just more breakdowns like this. I am trying to get into uploading more and everything. I hope to have my start catching up on my reviews for season 6, or at least season 6B and everything, since I feel it's too late to do like, earlier in like, season 6. Maybe I'll do like a full season 6 like, review and everything when the season's done. But I'm gonna at least start from the episode I think 8 or 9 and everything, and just go from there. But I do want to get the episode like the review out and everything for this episode, so I can start catching up. But besides all that, I think hope you guys enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, all that and everything. Peace out, amigos, and peace out.